I've been planning the whole winter to spend the night out when it's cold without any equipment, no sleeping bag, no tarp, no tent, just tools and some food. But this winter was really warm, and I believe this is the last night with maybe around -4 or -6 Celsius. And I think I found the perfect spot. There are two big fallen trees. This V shape looks like a pretty good place to have a shelter. I'm gonna have my bed right there in the end, and the fire right here in front of me. In my backpack there's just stuff like food, water, I have some tools like my axe, knife and fire starter, and a saw. I'm not sure if the correct term is foldable, but it is very compact. I'm going to start by making a fire. I'm hoping to have a place to dry my hands. They will get wet once I start working on the shelter and for the firewood. And also I'm hoping for these two logs to get a bit drier, and hopefully they will radiate some heat during the night. To start the fire, I'm going to use one of those cotton pads with bee wax. Although it's kind of old, getting a bit rough, should still work. It's getting kind of late, so I need to work to finish my shelter and get enough firewood for tonight. there was some steam coming out of the logs. You can even see some dry spots right over there. This means that my walls are accumulating some heat. I've made a bit of a roof in case it starts snowing again tonight. Fortunately, it's wet like everything else out here. A sleeping mat would have been really useful, but well, I am going to see how this night is going to be. I'm probably going to be a bit wet, but I'm not too worried because these big logs are still steaming, and actually they're a bit warm, which is really cool. I can already tell you that in here I feel pretty toasty. It seems pretty warm, pretty hot. I feel like taking my jacket off. But all the wood around here is spruce, so it burns quite fast. If you don't pile up a bunch of wood on your fire, big logs, plenty of them, the fire will burn quite fast. So it's going to be a challenge to see how am I going to actually be able to keep a small fire so I won't be too hot in here. But hopefully it's going to be a bit colder so I can have a bigger fire. I have here some homemade sausages which I made. I also have some onions which I'm just gonna throw them in the hot coal. Don't have to do much, just shove them in there. The outer layer will burn, but the inside is going to be nice. I think the sausages are done. Oh yeah. The onion is nice and soft. Burn on the outside, but really nicely cooked inside. And the sausages are also nice, but a bit too hot for my taste. Need to wait a bit. And while I do that, cheers. That's very nice. I have to see the onion. It's so soft, I can barely hold it to cut it. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough time for my bed to get dry from the fire. I have no idea what the temperature is. Maybe I'll just try go outside the shelter a bit later and see how it feels. Because in here it's really nice and warm. I mean, really, the big logs are now completely dry on this side, on the inside. I have no idea how I'm going to sleep. To be honest, I'm a bit scared of lying down because I know I'm gonna get completely wet. Now just my ass is wet. Vitamin tubes, but not really. And this one, there's coffee. And this one, a bit of sugar. Really easy to transport them like this. And you don't need that much. It's morning, the sun is almost up. The setup between these two big logs is really nice. I'm really surprised how much heat they were able to absorb. Yesterday when I arrived here, they were wet and cold, really wet, really cold. But starting that fire early really dried them. I could see steam coming out and then dry spots. Now they're completely dry and warm to the touch. Out there it was minus, I don't know how much, but it was cold. It still is. Everything is frozen. But here you don't feel the cold around you. Normally you would feel the warmth of the fire and cold around you, but this doesn't happen here. You just feel okay. You feel like everywhere around here it's a nice comfortable temperature. Everything frozen, really frozen, but in there it's nice and warm. The branches I've used, I didn't have time to stay and dry them a bit. They still had water, they were a bit frozen with some snow on them, so this really affected me in a bad way because I could really feel that cold. But this was only maybe first half of the night when I was keep turning myself around to get parts of me dry from the fire. Eventually the branches just dried. probably from myself and also from the fire. On this part, I haven't really closed it because I didn't have the time to do it, but also I was feeling quite warm in here, quite okay. I felt like it's not really needed, but actually during the night, especially towards the morning, I could feel a cold draft of air, especially in this big gap, which wasn't very pleasant. On this side it was okay, have this wall, although it's not sealed everywhere, but still it was pretty good. If I would stay here for a couple more nights, I would definitely close this area and it should be a lot better. I have one special thing to cook for today for breakfast, and this is a root from another fallen tree, and on here some rocks. Just need to clean it a bit. Yeah, frozen snow. I'm gonna leave the stone to warm up, and while it does that, I'm gonna try find something I discovered yesterday. Found it. They're a bit frozen from last night. I don't know the name in English for this, but it's like a clover, and it's a bit sour, like lemon. I've never seen so much of it in one place. This is a really cool find. Too bad they're so frozen now. But just a few days ago we had unusually warm weather. It was almost like summer, at least there were summer temperatures during the day. Apparently it was enough for them to grow. And my rock didn't explode. Almost good. It was really cold out there. Breakfast. Ribs. Sheep ribs. This is a mix that I've made. Pepper, salt, paprika, and some herbs. That's a good sound. Well, the ribs are a bit longer than my rock. Look, a piece of the rock got broken. Ow, burned. Yeah. This is nice, you don't have to do anything to it. Already nice and sour, green, fresh, slightly frozen, but good. Oh, this is so good.